Hey everyone, welcome to the first of our judicial branch video notes. This is covering the dual court system. This section has a lot of information. I tried to pare it down to just the essentials. There is more detail in the slideshow and the notes keys. You can go through that, and if you still have questions, feel free to check in with your teacher for their office hours, which are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'll be there too if you need help with any of the activities. So we've seen this note a bunch that basically you have three branches of government. It's the idea of separation of powers. Article 3 of the Constitution sets up the judicial branch, and the main function of the judicial branch is to interpret the laws, to translate them. What do they mean? We have federal courts, and the only federal court established by the Constitution is the United States Supreme Court. It's referred to as the highest court in the land, as whatever decision they make is final. Supreme Court also has the power of judicial review, which will be talked about later on in the Marbury v. Madison and judicial review section. And because they are federal courts, they deal with federal law and issues of the Constitution. Now we say we have a dual court system. That means there are a federal court structure and also a state court structure. So every state has their own system. You can think of the court system as a pyramid. And right here we have the three different types of federal courts. At the bottom, the U.S. District Court, the U.S. Court of Appeals in the middle, and then at the top, the one United States Supreme Court. A couple terms that we just want to go over here. The first one is jurisdiction. It just means the authority or the power to hear a court case. There's two different types of jurisdiction. There's original jurisdiction, and if you think about like original flavored potato chips, it's where they started. It's the first flavor. A court case that goes to a court with original jurisdiction means it's hearing it for the first time. The other type of jurisdiction is appellate, and really what that means is they're just going to review the decision of lower courts. If you want to appeal your decision, you're going to go to a court with appellate jurisdiction. And so here's just another table of the courts, starting at the bottom with the district court, working your way up to the Supreme Court. This also lists the structure, like do they have a judge and jury, and what type of jurisdiction does each court have. Now in Virginia, just like every other state, we have our own system. It comes from the state constitution and any state laws. If we work top to bottom, you'll see that at the very top we have a Virginia Supreme Court, structured very similar to the U.S. Supreme Court. Below that, the Court of Appeals of Virginia, so similar to the federal, where it's an appeals court. Where you see a difference is below that. The third court in the state court system is the circuit court, and they're going to hear different types of cases. And then at the very bottom, you have two separate and distinct courts, the General District Court and the Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. Again, here's the structure laid out. You can see the courts on the left-hand side, the structure, and the jurisdiction. At the very bottom, the General District Court and the Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court, there is just one judge. That'd be like Judge Judy or something you'd see on television like that, where above that, the circuit court has the judge and jury. So just as a quick recap, some of the main points. Article 3 establishes the judicial branch. We have a dual court system. There's different types of jurisdiction, and every state has its own court structure based on the state's constitution and laws. Again, that's just a real quick overview of the concept of a dual court system. If you have questions or you want to go into more detail, please check out the notes key, talk to your teacher during their office hours, or just send an email.